Okay, hey guys, this is just something I wanted to talk about for a little while. Um, just today I made a trip to Josie Records for about 30, 45 minutes, and while I was in there, I was kind of thinking about this, just kind of like how spoiled I am in terms of where I live, having like a really good amount of independent record stores, and each one of those stores being kind of cool in their own different kind of ways, but also kind of doing a lot of the same things right, I guess is in my opinion. Just in terms of, first of all, in terms of number of stores in the area, DFW, Texas has like probably like a dozen independent stores, at least that I know of, and it feels like we get another one every couple of months. Um, I would say my top three are Josie Records in Carrollton. There's Doc's Records in Fort Worth. They just moved downtown, or to the Arts District downtown, and Vintage Freak in Bedford, which I just made a video in on Monday. But Josie Records in particular does a lot of things right in terms of like selection, which is not always under a store's control, but at least Josie and Doc's that I know of, probably other stores too, they'll actually go out of their way. They'll make house calls to go to people's homes and buy large collections. Usually, like estates or collections of like older people that can't really leave the house that easily, and they definitely can't move like thousands of pounds of records. So Doc's in particular has a van that's always parked outside the building, or at least their old location. Just the name of the store on it, the phone number, his website, that kind of thing. And I've often seen that driving around, just making house calls, I guess, going to pick up collections. And I know for a fact that Josie and Doc's both have rented U-Haul trucks in the past and filled them up to the brim with records. Boxes and boxes. And so stores can kind of do that to kind of make selection a little bit better, or at least try to. I know they're still kind of at the mercy of what people actually have. But I've seen stores kind of struggle with like, Vintage Freak is a good example. I like to visit Vintage Freak a lot. Especially now I moved a little bit closer to it. It used to be like a 15 to 20 minute drive to get there. Now it's like 5 to 10. But I always go and dig through the new arrivals, and just like the standard selection of the store, like outside of the new arrivals, like rock A to Z, and any other genre A to Z, is not really as good as the new arrivals, because good stuff will come in, and it does frequently, but then it'll stay in the new arrivals, get picked over, and then there's nothing in the new arrivals to move to the standard section. And I see that happens over and over again. It feels like they can't keep a good, solid, consistent amount of records flowing in. And I do tend to bring a lot of stuff to trade in, just because I want to. Well, first of all, they offer good trade value, especially if you're spending it in store, and it kind of helps keep the business alive. I like to go there. I like to spend time there. It's just a good place to hang out, and that's one of the other cool things about a lot of the stores around me, is they're actually good environments to hang out in. Good music playing, friendly staff, employees who know a lot about music and know a lot about different kinds of music. Like variety is like the spice of life. So I know there's a couple stores around that specialize in certain genres. Like I think there's one called Born Late Records, and the guy specializes in mostly metal, but a little bit of punk and hard rock, that kind of stuff. That's definitely what they focus on in the store, and that's kind of the imagery that's prevalent in the store. They're also a tattoo parlor, which is really weird. I've never been there, but they're at like every single record show around here, just vending. And the guys there are nice, even though I'm not necessarily into like metal. and they don't really carry that much punk, or at least not that much of the kind I'm looking for. Um, and if they do, they carry it at online prices, which is another kind of thing. Lots of stores I've seen kind of seen the base pricing off of Discogs and eBay and things, which can be kind of hit and miss. Um, Lots of times, maybe it's a rare kind of record that for some reason on Discogs hasn't been selling for that high of prices lately. And so sometimes you can get a good deal on stuff that way, or the opposite will happen. Maybe it's not that rare of a record at all, but just sells consistently somewhat high online, and so it'll get overpriced in stores. I've noticed lots of stores around me, thankfully, don't necessarily do that. At least not on the everyday kind of somewhat common records that come in. Maybe on rarer stuff, they'll be priced more like online prices or competitive, but usually try to undercut it by a few bucks here and there, maybe 10, 20, 30 bucks if it's up there in value. And sometimes you can get really good deals on stuff. Like, I've gotten tons of great deals on stuff at Doc's Records in particular, because I'm not that picky about condition. I mean, obviously I want it to play and I want it to sound good. I don't want it to be riddled with pops and crackles, but I don't mind a little bit of noise, especially if it's of a certain genre, and the certain kind of music doesn't really subtract from the music. I'm talking about noisier records like rock, punk, anything with loud guitars and drums. Some surface noise doesn't really bother me on the record, but something like quieter, like maybe jazz or some electronic or ambient, I'll try to want a cleaner copy. So maybe some quieter folk. You obviously want to get nice condition where you can, but if the condition isn't so bad and it's a great deal, you gotta pick it up. And what I'm trying to say is Doc's Records will lots of times have like a really classic record around like VG condition. The covers are never any worse than like VG usually, and the records are anywhere from VG to VG plus. They're actually very strict about their grading there too. If something says near mint, it looks unplayed. If something says VG plus, it looks mostly unplayed, and VG is a little bit of a wider spectrum, but it's definitely still a very good copy. You can find great deals there of stuff for like 10 bucks. Even if it would be worth like 30 bucks in that condition, they don't care what they go for online. They want to be known for, at least I feel like this is what they want to be known for. They want to be known for having really kind of hard to find records in really good condition, and I can tell they've invested in a vinyl cleaning machine, probably like a VPI or something. They put plastic sleeves on everything. If something was missing an inner sleeve for some reason, they'll throw a paper one in there. Like Josie does that as well for all the main records. They'll do the normal open ones for the standard stuff. In the bargain section, $1 to $2, which they have a huge bargain section, by the way. It would probably take a good hour or more to dig through everything they have. They don't sleeve any of those. Doesn't even really look like they clean them, but there can still be some really good deals that can be found in there. And then they also have a really awesome rare and collectible section, which they use the resealable plastic outer sleeves on. It's really, everything in there is clean and well sorted and organized, not necessarily alphabetical, but still divided by genre. They have a great rare rock section. Like just today, we saw the Charles Manson Love and Terror Cult record, with his face on the cover. It's like a comp of his demos and stuff, I think, at a kind of competitive price too. And I have a feeling, because I think it's been sitting in there for a while, I have a feeling if I asked about it, if I really wanted to, they would come down on the price a little bit. And then pretty frequently they'll do sales 20% off used records, that kind of thing. And that includes all the stuff in there. So maybe someone's just holding out for another sale to come around. They also have a punch card system, which not every store does this, but they have a punch card system where, actually I think I have my card right here. Yeah, the way they do it is for every 20 bucks you spend on used records, which, you know, adds up very quickly, especially if you go there a lot, you'll get a punch on this card, which has 10 punch spaces. As soon as you fill up 10, this is basically, it turns into a $20 gift card if you use it on used records. So I just used one today. It turned a $30 purchase into 10, which is really cool. They don't have to do that, and they do it anyways, which is nice. It's a good incentive to go and shop there. Doc's Records will do 10% discount if you pay in cash. So every time I know I'm going there, I stop by the ATM, get a few bucks, just to have it. And even if I don't see anything, you know, at least I was prepared. And I usually do walk out with at least 2 or 3 things out of there. They also, I haven't been to their new location yet, so I can't speak for that. But at their old location, they had a really great section on the wall of stuff on the wall, like kind of collectible stuff, vintage T-shirts, in addition to like the rare kind of records. And everything in there was super well organized, alphabetized. Even the new arrivals are alphabetized, at least. Maybe not completely alphabetized, but they'll do like A to C. They'll have a Beatles new arrival section, including solo, and then it'll be like D through F, and you know, so on all the way to Z. And then they actually separate out the punk and new wave into a separate new arrival section. Same thing with metal, same with jazz and soul, and soundtracks. And then miscellaneous is always an interesting section to dig through in a store, because you kind of never know what's in there. Maybe they don't know how to classify something. Maybe it's a little bit weirder, like a new age record or some kind of world music. But yeah, I'm kind of curious to know what you guys kind of look for in a store, not in terms of selection, because like I said, that's not always under their control, but in terms of the kind of atmosphere that's there. I mean, obviously, you want nice employees. Friendly staff is always kind of important. There are a couple stores around here that I don't necessarily like to go to. I won't name names, but friendly staff is kind of a large part of why I stop at the stores that I do and make an effort to go to certain stores. In addition to, obviously, you want to have good prices. Bargains are cool, but I don't mind paying fair prices for things just to, you know, support the business, especially if it's one I really like. Josie Records, I keep praising them in this video, but they just have such a cool store there. I mean, they have a stage. Just for example, I just got a flyer for the record store day party they're gonna do. They do it every single year. Obviously, in the morning is when people line up to get the exclusive stuff, but all day it's like, you know, it goes till they close, which they don't close early or anything. If anything, they open early. They're opening at 7 a.m. this year, and then I think they're going till like probably midnight or later, just because it's always a party. I mean, there's food and drinks, live performances. They always have people DJing. They'll go back and forth. On one side of the store is a stage for a live band to play. On the other side of the store is a whole DJ setup. They'll lots of times have free drinks. They'll have some food trucks come out. I don't really see anything on the record store day list that I want to line up for this year, but I will probably go there at some point during the day or in the evening that Saturday just to go and hang out, because it looks really cool. Everything, I've always seen them post on social media, which I don't know if I mentioned, but social media is an important way to kind of keep your employees, or not employees, your patrons kind of up to date on new arrivals that come in and stuff that's going on in the store. But Josie Records always posts on their Instagram every year, every time they have a party, just some quick videos of like how many people are there, and it's like hundreds. Um, so that might be cool to go check out this year. But yeah, just let me know what you guys kind of look for in a store. Like I said, let me know if I'm forgetting anything to watch out for in terms of common practices inside stores, or things that you wish that more stores would do that none of them seem to. And let me know, just kind of, if you don't mind, like where you're from, and probably some stores to visit if I'm ever in the area, because I'm always, every time I go anywhere, the first thing I do is Google, like, I don't know, let's say I was going to Boulder Springs, Colorado, and I said, are there any cool stores in Boulder Springs? Which there probably are, and not just record stores, but probably thrift stores and things also. Just good. My point is, just let me know where you're from and places you'd like to go shopping for records. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. I know the video was a little bit different. I didn't actually show any records, but I'm saving those for the end of the month. I'm making it a strict thing. I'm only showing stuff I got on a month-to-month basis. So yeah, I hope you guys are having a good week. Now it's the end of the week, but you get my point. I'll see you guys in the next one.